There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I say, if you feel discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Break it down. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of Bellevue. I am Reverend Charles Perry, and I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Bellevue, and it is my joy, honor, and privilege to welcome you to our celebration service this morning. If you are new here, just want you to know that you can find out a whole lot more about us and get hooked up with us electronically by going to the welcome table, which is kind of diagonally that way after you leave the sanctuary, and it is conveniently located along the way to both the friendship room, where we're going to have lunch, and the bathrooms. So you can stop by there on your way out and pick up a little welcome package, and it has in it a bunch of information about us here at Unity of Bellevue and about the Unity Worldwide Movement. There's also a connection card in there that we'd love for you to fill out and leave with us, where you can let us know who you are and what your email address is, and we will get you signed up for our electronic email blast that we send out, letting everybody know what goes on here at Unity. And if you're online, and good morning to all of you who are online, hey there, we love you, we see you. You can go to our website, which is www.unityofbellevue.org, and go to the I'm New page. And if you fill out the little form there, we will cheerfully send you one of those welcome packets. And if all you want to do is sign up for our weekly newsletter, then you can just go to the bottom of any of the pages on the website, and there's a little form there that you can fill out and sign up for that. Also, if you're new, we want you to know that you are welcome here, no matter who you are, that you are safe, accepted, welcomed, and celebrated here, regardless of your race, creed, color, ethnicity, national origin, religious background, sexuality, gender identity, economic status, political affiliation, Or if you're a person who is differently abled, everyone, every last one of us is the divine in expression, and we are all welcome here. And in the feeling and dedication of that unity, I would like for us to all affirm our statement of being, which is up here on the screen behind me, together. There is only one presence and one power active as my life and as the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. We honor the universal truths in all religions and respect each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. We like to begin everything we do with prayer, so won't you please join me now? Sweet Spirit, we are so deeply grateful for this opportunity to come together in unity. We now allow ourselves to open to full awareness of the divine light, divine love, and divine wisdom we are. And we bless this time together as we join in divine purpose to be the Christ expressing right here in Bellevue and throughout the world. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. All right. Won't you please help me in welcoming our music director, Tony Surzo?
Good morning, everybody. I'm grateful to be joined on the platform this morning. They need no introduction, but in this corner, Matt Corey and Becky Thatcher.
Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah.
And we have some fun music we want to play for you. So if you would stand as you are able and join us in singing. This is an Aaron McGowan original called "This Is the Day." Oh, this is the day, this is the day, this is the brand new day my Lord has made, and I call it good, I call it good, 'cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is. This is the day, this is the day, this is a brand new day my Lord has made, and I call it good. I call it good. 'Cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is.
Yes, it is.
This is the heart, this is the heart, this is the brand new heart my Lord has made, and I call it good. I call it good. 'Cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is.
Why don't we do a musical interlude? Here we go. Just wait. If you want to do a stroll down the middle aisle, you know this is good stroll music. There you go. Fill the aisles. This is the life. This is the life. This is the brand new life my Lord has made, and I call it good. I call it good. 'Cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is.
So it is.
Bring it joy. This is the joy. This is the joy. This is the brand new joy my Lord has made, and I call it good.
'Cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is. One more time, bring it home now. 'Cause if the Lord has made it, I call it good, and so it is.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road from heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. You guys know this song.
I'm choosing heaven
Let's
today.
sing we, yes?
I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. We're choosing heaven today. Love.
Love.
We're choosing love today. Walking the
Love today.
I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
All right, we're choosing a lot of things.
Joy, we'll get back on track here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today.
Very nice. Heaven. One more time, heaven.
Back to heaven.
Let's sing we.
Let's take it back to heaven. I'm choosing heaven today.
We're choosing heaven today.
I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. We are walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Thank you. Please be seated. And we're going to sing "I Am So Blessed," but I want to change the words a little bit. We're going to sing it as "We Are So Blessed," to kind of emphasize that we're in this church together, and we are blessed together.
We are blessed. We are blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
So now is the time when we relax, we let go. So I invite you to lay aside anything that you're holding in your hands. Maybe anything that you've got weighing heavy on your mind or tugging at your heart right now. Just let it go for now. It'll be okay. And you know, usually in this time, I invite us all to go within. But remembering that we are not alone. It's not just I, it's we. We are so blessed. I invite us all to allow our consciousness to open. As we breathe in and breathe out, become conscious of the air that's moving in and out of our lungs, knowing that we're sharing that air just as we share this space. We are sharing this time, this experience. We're not alone. Certainly, right now, right here, we are not alone. We are here in sanctuary with our beloved spiritual family. How good it is to come together in unity, to feel like we belong, to know that we're not the only person who thinks this way, who grasps our place in the universe as the universe this way. Here's proof all around us. There are loving, wonderful, like-minded spirits sitting right here with us, celebrating with us so many wonderful principles that God is, that only God is, that we live and move and have our being in and as God. And as we breathe into that, we breathe into it together. We are not alone. And as we allow our consciousness to maybe mingle and move outward, we know that there are hundreds, thousands, millions, surrounding us. Here in Bellevue, in the Puget Sound region, in the Pacific Northwest, in the United States, in the Americas, on this planet, and in the orbital space around it, we are not alone. We are in this together, this great experiment, this outpost of consciousness in God's mind, this shining blue ball in the cosmos. Here we are. Each and every one of us has our part. Each and every one of us has a story, but we are not alone. As we go into our spiritual communion with the divine, instead of juice and bread, it is the very air that we breathe and the energy that we are, that we connect with. And so I invite you to explore all of this connection with the divine, with our planet, with each other, and with the deepest parts of ourselves for a few moments in the silence. here we are together on this little spaceship Earth, following our sun on its interstellar journey around the heart of the Milky Way. Traveling distances that boggle the mind. Going further in our lifetimes than we imagine. And here we are at the same time, each and every one of us living our own story. And we do it together. In consciousness, at times, we may feel alone. But the truth is that Spirit is ever with us. That race consciousness, that deep knowing that we are born with is always with us. And if we simply reach out, we are all with each other. Whether we are asking for a hand or offering a hand, or simply both reaching out at the same time, smiling, understanding that I see the divine in you, and I can see you see the divine in me. When we sing, we are so blessed. That knowing, that light in the eyes is one of the greatest blessings we will ever feel. The Christ in you, seeing the Christ in me. Namaste, namaskar. So it is. Amen.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can cause me to start. And when I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. But when I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to walk down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can can lighten my load. And when I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And when I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a little musical note. Not every musician we've had through here can handle 3 key changes, which means 4 different keys in the same song. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, right? So I was going to talk to you for a second before I start looking at my notes. I've been here for about 11 months now. And in that time, most of the things that I have talked about have been things that address the individual spiritual journey. Right? We started out with finding yourself in transition, which, many of us are. And of course, we corporately were in transition. And to be frank, we still are. We've taken a look at the basic teachings of Jesus. We've looked at the 5 big unity principles that we always talk about. Over the past month, we have studied the 4 agreements, which, and I know I've said this more than once, actually both our board president, Gene, and I have both agreed that if we just ran the church by those 4 agreements, we'd be doing okay, right? So most of the things that we have been looking at are teachings that percolate from the inside up and hopefully out into the world, right? And that's the way unity tends to view things. Unity, we tend to say, well, hey, as long as we all get enlightened, everything will get better, right? So there's some truth to that. And there's also truth to the fact that we are in this together. And there are some actions, some ideals, and some principles that we need to look at together as a corporate body moving forward. So since about March, basically since we had our board elections, our board, which includes me, has been studying a couple of books by a minister named Thom Rainer. And what Tom has done over the past decades is he's served churches by helping them get better. And he's also done a great deal of studying of how churches die and how they get better. The first book that we studied was called The Autopsy of a Deceased Church. And I know you probably don't hear words like that in unity very often. But unity doesn't mean we ignore facts, okay? So we studied that, and then we studied the follow-on, which is hopefully a prequel to that, called The Anatomy of a Revived Church. And that one is the one that I want to share with as we would say in the South, all y'all, for the next couple months, taking a deep dive into several of the principles of what it looks like when a church has revived itself from a downhill slide. You know, what are the commonalities? Because that's what he looked at. Thousands of churches, right? Diving deep into the data. What do these churches look like? What do they have in common? These churches that arrested their slide and moved upward. So what I wanted us to experience was what those things are, because those things are not only germane to the life of this church, but almost every last one of them applies to us as individuals as well. And the first one that I'm going to talk about today is being responsible. I am responsible. I know that those of you who are in 12-step with me have probably heard the saying, I am responsible. When anyone, anywhere, reaches out for help, I want the hand of, insert the name of your 12-step group, to be there, and for that, I'm responsible. I would like to be able to say, I'm responsible when anyone, anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of Unity of Bellevue to be there. And for that, I am responsible. I become that hand, those feet, that heart, that smile, that help, right? So, taking a look at how this unfolds, there are at least three things that I really want to talk about today. I want to talk about moving beyond blame, about embracing change, and about accepting responsibility. And boy, can those three things be tough. I mean, let's be honest, right? There are some of us, even in our, third generation years, right? Like I have a kid and a grandkid. I'm the third one up. They're probably still blaming our parents for the stuff we're carrying around. I'm not going to name any names from people in my family, but they're there, okay? I know they're there. So Tom said that true revival begins when the congregation stops blaming others and starts looking for solutions. We can't blame the pandemic. We can't blame, the big church down the street with the smoke machines and the loud music and the ginormous screens and the really awesome coffee bar. We can't blame them. And we can't blame the fact that the neighborhood doesn't look like it looked 25 years ago. We can't blame that, right? Because blame does not get us anywhere. Blame is a barrier to growth, both in our churches and in our personal lives. When we blame external factors for our challenges, we give away our power to create something different or better. So moving beyond blame involves shifting from a victim mentality to one of empowerment, where we recognize that we have the ability to influence our own experiences. My old friend, Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck, I've talked about him before, right? One of the things that he teaches is like a 4-step look at consciousness, and they all start with the letter V. It's victim, victor, vessel, and verity. We go from the victim mentality where we're blaming everybody else, and then we decide we're going to get some God going on in our lives, and we move up a step to victor. God is on our side, right? And God is on my side, and that's why I'm successful. And then we kind of move into the I am a vessel of, God is in me, right? And then he goes off on his like a wiener in a bun. So we're not quite there yet, right? It's still separation language. And then we get to verity, truth. I am Christ, whole and perfect, expressing at the point of me, right? And that's where we are really able to see that which is ours to do. In Unity, we can also take a look at the concept of denials and affirmations. And this is a really important distinction. And if you don't get anything else out of today, I want you to get this one simple thing. In Unity, a denial is not denying the reality of the situation. What we are denying is the power of the reality of the situation to keep us from creating an experience of life that we are in charge of, right? So I think I've told you guys the story about a Unity minister who, was sitting in front of a crack in the wall in the basement. And when somebody says, hey, Reverend so-and-so, what about that crack? And he says, what crack? Mostly because he didn't want to spend the money on having the crack fixed, right? That's not the way this works, I promise you. The way it works is that crack is not going to take our church down because we're going to do something about it, right? We're going to do something about it as an affirmation in and of itself, right? By refusing to give power to the idea that we are victims of circumstance, we reclaim our ability to shape our lives in alignment with divine principles. So together in this church, for our church to experience a revival, we have to move beyond the tendency to blame those external factors, right? Whether it's the demographic changes, economic challenges, societal shifts, the pandemic, whatever it is. They may have influenced us, but they do not define who we are or our ability to move forward in a different way. Amen? And boy, in our personal lives, overcoming blame means taking responsibility for how we respond to changes, right? You see the difference? It's like, yeah, bad stuff can happen, but instead of just blaming the bad stuff, if we take responsibility, we get to decide what our experience is like. And it doesn't matter whether it's in our relationships, our career, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. Moving from blame to empowerment allows us to take control of our circumstances and create a positive change. We may do a little more work, from the stuff that Brene Brown has written, because I love the things that she teaches and the stories that she tells. And her research on shame and blame is really powerful in terms of its ability to let us unhook from those old unhelpful stories that we may have been telling. And so after telling a story about an executive who owned up to his mistake instead of shifting blame, which if you've ever been in the corporate world, that happens a lot. She says, here's a person who didn't have to own anything, a leader who could have shifted the blame to his own team or to the people that they were bidding, the brand's disrespectful team that they had this interaction with. But instead, he had the courage to feel pain, to recognize he was feeling shame, to reach out and be vulnerable with a friend, to own his part, and to stand in front of his team and be accountable. Then she goes on to say the difference between I'm a screw up and I screwed up may look small, but in fact, it's huge. It's the difference between feeling guilty and feeling shameful. Many of us will spend our entire lives trying to slog through the shame swampland to get to a place where we can give ourselves permission to both be imperfect and to believe we are enough. Failure can become our most powerful path to learning if we're willing to choose courage over comfort. That is so important. I'm going to restate it for us right now. Our church's failure to thrive can put us on a powerful path to revival if we are willing to choose the courage to change over the comfortable status quo. Tom goes on to say that churches that are open to change are the ones that experience revival. They understand that growth requires stepping out of comfort zones and embracing new possibilities. Change is pretty much always uncomfortable, but it is essential for growth. Growth is change, right? You can see it in your kids when they're growing up, and it's like, dang, those jeans do not fit you anymore. They're like up around your calves, It's because our kids were changing. They were growing. Absolutely, we have to be open to, in a church setting, open to new ideas, approaches, ways of doing things. The way we've always done it has gotten us where we are. Now, I know a lot of you are looking around saying, I kind of like this church. What are you talking about, Reverend Charles? Yeah, so it's funny. When we started, when the board, we started studying these books, we took a straw poll because in the books Tom describes like 4 different levels of churches. And the first one is our church is pretty okay. And the second one is our church is a little, maybe a little sick, a little something going on. The third one is our church is very sick. And the fourth one is our church is dying, okay? And when we did that straw poll, there were 2 of us, myself included, who said we thought this church is very sick. Everybody else was either like, it's not that sick, or, oh, what are you talking about? It's great. After studying this book, both of those books for 3 months, everyone on the board but one person agreed that we are, in fact, very sick. What very sick means is if we don't make any changes, that down the road, we're going to then go to a church that is dying, and then eventually we will be forced to close the doors. And as someone who has had to close the doors on a church, I was the board president at the time, I can tell you that's not something I ever want to do in my life again, right? So we need to get honest. I mean, when I did my due diligence about this church and I found out, okay, so what's gone on here? What's happened? What was it like? What's been happening? What's it like now? And I found out that, hey, 25 years ago, there were 400 people here on a Sunday, 2 services. Some of you were probably here, yeah. When that had 3 services, right? So it's kind of like frogs getting boiled. If you do it really slowly, they don't jump out of the pot because they can't feel it. It's like like me, as I look at myself in the mirror, I think, I don't look that much worse than yesterday. But if 20-year-old me saw me in the mirror, he would absolutely panic. Right? It's that incremental thing, So while things may seem okay, right? We're getting along. We're doing, we're doing okay. We're still able to come here every Sunday, and the lights are on, and there's music, and there's somebody that talks at you and fusses at you, and we pass the hat, and so far this year we're in the black, which is amazing, But we've got work to do to get this church from being on the long, slow glide to powering up. And it doesn't need to be what it used to be. It's never going to be what it used to be, right, Vic? We are never going to be that church again. But what we can be is a healthy, thriving church. So that's what we're talking about. And that's going to take change, right? In our personal lives, oh my God, embracing change means being open to new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities. And it involves stepping out of our comfort zones and trusting that the universe is guiding us toward our highest good. I mean, me getting sober, that's a whole nother story. That's like for a different day and a different time. But if I had not been willing to embrace that very difficult change, I'd be dead by now. I promise you. I would not be standing here. I wouldn't be standing anywhere. But I mean, just really simply, my wife Laura and I have moved twice in the last 4 years for her work. Okay, so in case anybody wondered, I didn't move to Seattle to be your minister. I moved to Seattle and I was attending like a handful of the churches around here. I was just bopping around from Sunday to Sunday. You guys probably saw me show up about once a month, until I realized, well, here's a church without a minister. I'm a minister without a church, and maybe we can do something with this. And you guys agreed, so here I stand. I had to really be open to embracing some very drastic change to do that, right? I've been able to meet new people, embrace new opportunities, and I'm still growing in ways that I really had not imagined. And, if I had not been willing to embrace those changes, I wouldn't be here today. So this is what it really gets down to. It's about accepting responsibility. I am responsible. Can we say that together? I am responsible. Yeah, we are. Tom says, revived churches don't wait for someone else to solve their problems. They look within and realize that the change begins with them. So the journey towards revival of whatever kind it is, that begins in a church or in our personal lives, it begins with our willingness to take responsibility. So that means in this collective context that each and every one of us plays a vital role in the health and the vitality of the community. And as I stand up here and say that, in some ways I kind of feel like I'm preaching to the already saved, as we say back there in the South, right? Because there are so many people here who are wearing 2 and 3 hats. I mentioned our board president, Jean. She's also on our governance committee. She's on the Power Focus Ministry Committee. She has served on the fundraising committee. And I take a look around at a lot of the other people. She's on the governance committee with Ken, who is the head of our welcoming team, and he's in the kitchen half the time. And he's our, de jure, if not de facto photographer. It's the other way around, de facto, if not de jure, photographer. And, a bunch of other things. And there's Kathy, who is our board secretary, and she's also in the kitchen about every other Sunday. Right? And we've got so many people. I could stand here and pick. I could pick all of you out. Shelley, who's actually getting to sit here in the seats because there's no kids back there, she's kind of single-handedly taken on being our YFM in the absence of a YFM director, which we're working on getting. That's one of those things we need to do a little differently, right? We need to get that person. We need to get them in place. Not that you haven't been doing great, because you have, but it's nice to have you here. You deserve to be able to sit here on Sunday, right? So many of you are actually doing that, and I will say, I will invite anyone who's new that's not already involved doing something. It's pretty obvious that there's stuff that can be done because we got people that are doing 2 or 3 things, and I'm sure some of them would let go of something to you. They'll get you trained up, teach you how to do it. Speaking of the board, we're looking for somebody, right? That's one opportunity right off the bat. We can always use more people on our welcome team. We can always use more people, helping out in the hospitality in the kitchen. And pretty soon, we're always going to need more people to be able to help out with our YFM. And it begins with every one of us right here, And here's the real thing that begins with every one of us right here, is the way churches grow is the people that go to them invite people to come. I know that you're like, oh God, I don't want to proselytize. I came to Unity because they said they don't do that, But the truth is, every church I've ever been at in Unity, at least 50% of the members, like when we polled them, at least 50% of the members were there because somebody had invited them once upon a time. We want more people in this. Yes, I can try to preach better. Yes, we can try to do better music. Yes, we can try to add a youth program, but honestly, a lot of it begins with each and every one of you. Okay? So rather than waiting for external circumstances to change or for somebody else to take the lead, it's about acknowledging our part in the current state of affairs and committing to being part of the solution. And in Unity, we call this the law of mind action, right? Yes, I am going to think this thing, but then the 5th principle is going to kick in and I'm going to step out and I'm going to make something happen because I believe the things that I just put into my mind. Yes, I can. I'm like being the little engine. I think I can, right? I know I can. Yes, I can. So the first thing we have to do is turn within. If our attendance is declining or our community engagement is waning, the first step is not to blame external factors, but to ask, how can we as a community, as a spiritual community, reignite the flame of spiritual passion? And this is going to take some honest self-assessment. We're going to have to foster a really welcoming environment and ensure that our mission resonates with the needs of the community. Taking responsibility is equally transformative in our personal lives. You know, when we stop blaming others for our circumstances and instead choose to take ownership of our thoughts and actions, we open the door to profound change. Whether it's in our relationships, our career, or our spiritual growth, taking responsibility empowers the life that we want to lead. It would have been really simple for me to continue to blame my parents for my childhood PTSD and my ACEs, that is adverse childhood experiences. And if you're interested in reading how they affect us as adults, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, I invite you to read The Deepest Well by Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. It really opened my eyes and set me free. You know that scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams is telling Matt Damon, it's not your fault. I had a problem believing that until I read that book. It's not your fault. But anyway, the way that I had developed to cope with that, right, self-medication, I just kind of kept going with that until I was 42 years old. I didn't get sober till I was 42. I mean, by that time, my coping mechanism had become more of a problem than the PTSD, right? Because it was ruining my family. And it had held me back so many different times, I can't even begin to count the ways, So I had to take responsibility. I had to make the best amends that I could, and I had to transform my life from one of dulling my senses to taking responsibility for my feelings, and by awakening spiritually, begin to embrace a life that's beyond my wildest dreams. Embracing change, stepping into personal responsibility, letting go of blame. Those are all essential steps on our path to spiritual revival as individuals and as a community. Tom Rainer's Insights in the Anatomy of a Revived Church, and we have some copies of this in the bookstore for anyone who would like to really dig into it. It's that guy right there. Embracing accountability, fostering a shared vision, being open to change. We align ourselves with the divine energy that flows through us, around us, and as us, guiding us towards hope, growth, healing, and renewal. In Unity, we believe that every thought, every word, and every action contributes to the tapestry of our lives, that picture that we step into, right? And when we consciously choose to take responsibility for our part in this collective creation, we unlock the potential for transformation on every level. So let's take this to heart. And I hope you'll join me, over the next couple of months as we dig into a lot of the individual pieces of this that are really helpful, both corporately and individually. And let's reflect on where we can take more responsibility in our own spiritual growth, in our own personal lives, for our own well-being, and trust that the same power that guides the growth of our church will also guide us in our individual life, that Christ, that divine essence. By embracing responsibility, we become active participants in the divine process of creation, bringing forth the highest good for ourselves, our communities, and the world. Won't you please join me in prayer? Sweet Spirit, we give thanks for the wisdom and guidance that flows through us and as us. We affirm the strength and courage to accept responsibility for our lives, to move beyond blame, and to embrace the changes that lead to growth and renewal. May we each be a beacon of light, contributing to the revival of Unity of Bellevue and the unfolding of our highest potential. We affirm that as we take responsibility for our thoughts, words, and actions, we align ourselves with divine mind, creating a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. So it is. Amen.
When the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops spinning round, I choose joy. I choose joy. When my heart is hard to move, when my music's lost that groove, when I have too much to prove, I choose joy. I choose joy. 1, 2, 3. When hate is all I see, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
When fear won't let me be, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
When betrayal and lies hide the light from my eyes and look up to the skies, I choose joy.
I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy.
In this moment, right here, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
To be all I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everybody to be free. Let's choose joy.
Let's choose joy.
Sing it, joy.
Joy, 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 joy. Let's choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. Let's choose joy.
Find the stable ground, peace and hope abound. I hear the sweeter sound, the chains have come unbound. Love is all around me when I choose joy. In this moment, right here, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
To be all I must be, for the light to shine in me, for the body to be free. I choose joy.
I choose joy.
Everybody to be free. I choose joy.
I choose joy.
For everybody to be free. Oh, let's choose joy.
Let's choose joy.
Yes.
Next time in our service, when we give back to this place where we're spiritually fed. And our offering is a little different than it used to be if you're new or if it's your first time in a long time. Rather than having, sending the usher around to pick up little bags or whatever, we all come up to the altar, and if you are physically giving today, that is check or cash, you put it in this handy dandy bowl right here. But everybody gets a little present. I call them spiritual vitamin pills. They're little affirmations. And what you'll do is Ken's going to kind of guide traffic up here. If you're on this side of the congregation, after you drop something in there, if you're doing that, you come over here and you grab one of these guys and head out that aisle. Kind of same deal over here. You guys come up here, visit there, grab from there, go that way, and we don't have any problems. And I'm going to keep this one right here. I am immersed in the healing, purifying light of God. That is a great affirmation for me this week. So let's go ahead and bless up our tithes and love offerings with our love offering blessing, which is up here on the screen behind me, together. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving. This is the bounty of God, and I send it forth with wisdom and joy. So it is.
All over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Now people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. The next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you know that it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding, riding on through? People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. And people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Now all of your brothers and sisters over in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Please don't miss this train at the station, 'cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, sorry for you. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Let it ride. Let it ride, let it ride. Now people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, a love train.
Thank you. All right. So let's put a final blessing on our offering, sweet Spirit. We give thanks for these tithes and love offerings, and we send them forth to do the work of Spirit as lived and taught by our brother and way shower, Jesus the Christ. And we see each gift returning to the giver, not tenfold, but 100-fold, 1,000-fold, a good measure, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen. And now Monica has some announcements for us.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bellevue. My name is Monica McDowell-Elvig. I'm your center administrator. We are so grateful for each person here that shows us a unique facet of the divine. We need each and every one of you to shine bright as a community. So thank you for being here. First of all, we have one-on-one prayer available after service. Lori Coleman will be up front here. She's got the stole on, and there's Lori sitting in the front. If you have any prayer requests, please join her up front. Thank you, Lori. You can also put your prayer requests on prayer request cards that are sitting in the seat backs and put them in the prayer box by the south entrance. There's online forms as well on our website on the prayer page. Today we also have a Reiki Circle after service in the library and on Zoom. The Zoom link is on our launch page. Our Reiki practitioners will be offering 10 minutes of Reiki, so please join us if you would like to have that experience. Kathy Lane is hosting our lunch today. Thank you, Kathy. All are welcome in the Friendship Room for some nourishing food and some nourishment for our soul as we build community together. Women Connect meets this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. It's always a potluck brunch, so please bring something to share. We'll be planning their Sunday hospitality meal next Sunday and future events. So please, all women and women identified are welcome. Community Rummage Sale is coming up on Saturday, September 7th. There's a sign-up sheet in the atrium. Susan Neidig can answer any questions. We are looking for volunteers for helping to set up, helping on the day of, and helping to take down. So if you can do one or more of those, just sign up on the sign-up sheet. And of course, we need your items. So Wednesdays and Sundays between 10 and 2, if you can bring your donated items that we can use for this wonderful fundraiser for Unity of Bellevue. We have another fundraiser coming up in October as a used book sale, so you can also be bringing in used books, CDs, media, magazines, all of those kinds of things in preparation for that. The book of the month that Reverend Charles mentioned is available in the bookstore. It's also available online, so you can order that on our website store. On our newsletter on Thursday, there was a survey in there for a life of prayer. Reverend Charles is going to be offering that again mid-October. And if you did not get a chance to take that survey and you're interested in taking that class, if you would just find that link or email me and let me know you'd like to fill out that survey. We're just doing a quick survey, one question survey on available times, and that's all. So let's close with the peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. Thank you.
Thanks, Monica. Please stand as you are able and join us in singing.
That was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.
The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a great week, Unity.
the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power.
I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me.
Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what will be and then watch it come to me. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do.